So today's topic is SAP Analytics Cloud, Analytics Designer and Custom Widgets. My name is Deng. I'm Product Manager for SAP Analytics and located in Waldorf. As usual, we always here as a disclaimer means all the information that I provided to you is subject to change. Okay, so I will give you a brief overview and positioning about Analytics Designer in SAP Analytics Cloud. And then I will go through some of the features and functions that are interesting and relevant for you. And the focus today is the demo session that I want to give you intensive demo to show you different aspects of the Analytics Designer. And at the end, we should have a look into the future. What are we planning on our roadmap? So today's topic is Analytics Designer. So with Analytics Designer, you can create professional, also enterprise dashboards. So it's more for IT persons or person who has IT experience or professional design experience, and then use a tool to create more enterprise-wide dashboards. We are adding these capabilities in May this year to the SAP Analytics Cloud. So if you know SAC, you know that we already have the story part that is for the business user, drag and drop, and then very conveniently you can already create a self-service dashboard. And then we have also for the planning users using the SAP Analytics Cloud planning functionalities to do some planning work. And we also have functionality for business analysts that they can using the smart functions, predictive capabilities to do their predictive forecast. And then now, in the May of this year, we are adding the Analytics Designer to the SAP Analytics Cloud to give the option for the developer or designers to create more complex, more sophisticated dashboards or analytical applications. So you see, the analytical application is integrated as a capability within SAP Analytics Cloud and fully integrated within SAP Analytics Cloud. So that application Analytics Designer can also leverage all of the existing functionality that SAC is already providing. For example, for the whole data connections, right? You know, SAC is supporting live connections or imported data sources. So all of these data sources will be supported in Analytics Designer as well. Once you created the analytical applications, these artifacts can be consumed in digital boardroom, consumed in mobile, or in Analytics Hub. So this slide, I want you remember that analytical application is a capability within SAC, and that actually can leverage all of the existing functionalities that already within SAC. But in addition, and that can use the Analytics Designer specific capabilities, scripting and theming, custom widgets extensions to create more customized, complex enterprise dashboards. Okay, so basically, if you later on see the demo, you will notice with Analytical Designer to create analytical application, we provide SAC a low-code development environment that enable you to customize or extend the standard SAC functionality to cover more specific custom scenarios. So that's what is Analytics Designer aimed for. Okay, I know that you also already maybe get hands-on already in the SAC to drag and drop to create some stories, right? And now we have a new artifacts, analytical applications. You're already in the sessions to create some. You may ask, when should I create a story? When should I create analytical applications? So with this diagram, I want to give you a guidance. So still in the particular situation projects, you still need to decide, but this is a guidance that you can use. So story is more for self-service scenario. It's more for business users to very easily, convenient to create, very quick to create some dashboards. So the story is more LOB owned solution. Financial people in the business, in the financial department create some dashboards. And comparing to that, analytical application is more corporate driven. Because analytical application usually, because it's require more advanced development knowledge to create it, so usually has also a long life cycle than a story. Because if you develop that, you will not throw away that after 2 months. So that's actually the analytical application is more corporate owned solutions, IT, or the people who has the knowledge created, and all of the end users are consume that. So one way is LOB driven, is more story, and one's to the corporate owned solution like your P&L, this kind of reports will be consumed by many users, and that will be the analytical applications. And from the other way around here, you see on this flexibility. I mentioned before with Analytics Designer, you can use a whole technical capabilities to cover more customer-specific scenarios. So here, Analytics Designer has more flexibility comparing to a story to cover your customer scenarios. Then from implementation effort of view, then analytics design require more implementation effort than story, because there is a coding part on it, or you have the more option, right? And you can use a scripting, theming, custom widget, etc. So usually require high implementation effort. And with the analytical applications, usually you can build more end-user guided dashboards, right? So with the stories, it's more self-service dashboard. The business user go there, can click, but sometimes you don't want that your end user to click everywhere. You want to have more guided way for them to provide them the analysis parts, for example. In that case, you can use Analytics Designer to create analytical application, to create more end user guided analytical application. So that's just give you a guidance to see when to use story, when to use Analytical Designer. I assume you know Lumira Designer. You may also run the still using the Lumira Designer in your productive environment. And so basically, Analytics Designer and the Lumira Designer are both targeting the dashboarding scenarios, right? So Analytics Designer is a cloud deployment, and the Lumira Designer is an on-premise deployment. And we follow the SAP Cloud First strategy, means the SAP Analytics Cloud Analytics Designer. With that, we will deliver more new innovations. With Lumira Designer, we will deliver selected continuous improvements. Okay, and again, cloud first is not cloud only. That's a huge difference. Means Lumira Designer is still there. If you are already using in your productive systems, productive environment, if you are happy with that and you don't expect really big new features in Lumira Designer, you are free still to use that, and SAP is still going to maintain that. And with Analytics Designer, we will ship more new features, innovative features in the cloud area. But the strategic direction for dashboarding, for analytical application, for enterprise dashboards is Analytics Designer in SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay?
Does it mean like they will stop doing enhancements in Lumira?
Does it not mean that I exactly mentioned before that cloud first is not cloud only? Lumira Designer, for example, is still delivering the release 2.4 with some selected continuous improvements. So here is the Analytics Designer. What you can do We have the analytics. So what you can do with the analytics designer. So we will have using the analytics designer, you can using the scripting capabilities to implement, to customize your analytical applications. And with analytics designer, you can embed your analytical application to third-party business applications or to ending HTML5 pages. There is, for example, using the post message API. And with analytics designer, we have the extending capabilities. So you can use the R widgets or custom widget SDK to extend, to create your own visualizations to use in the analytical application. And because I mentioned before, analytics designer is aimed to create a corporate enterprise dashboard. So this corporate enterprise aspect is very, very important for us. So here is a reuse aspect. It's a must-have. That means we will also delivering the reuse components like composites, you know, from Lumira Designer, or that you will be able to create template, that this template can be reused across your applications. So that's the reuse aspect, and analytical application can be delivered later on within via the content network, and analytical application, of course, should be also mobile ready. So that's what you can do with the analytics designer. That's a different aspect. It's not only the dashboarding aspect, that's also the integration and also embedding aspect, very important for the analytics designer. So if you are interested or you want to start using analytics designer to do your project, we also have a developer handbook. It will be updated every quarter. So there is really 200 pages. Don't be afraid of that. And that's more use case based documentation rather than feature documentation. So for example, if you want to know how you can implement cascading filtering with your drop-down boxes, for example, then it will be described in this developer handbook. Okay, so have a look into this developer handbook. We also deliver examples via our content, so you can also leverage the examples to ramp up your knowledge. I think that I talked already a lot of words before was in analytical application. So that's actually with analytical applications that you have more widgets, you have dedicated design environment, and we are driving standardization and for the reuse aspect, and you are also able to extend actually analytical applications via custom widget SDK. Before, what I talked is about the positioning, the overview, so what you can do with analytics design. Now have a little bit look into the detailed feature. And analytics designer first is targeting the dashboarding scenario like Lumira Designer, right? So therefore, here we need the dashboarding capabilities. That's, for example, different widgets, panel, pop-up, container, and then we will need the scripting. So the scripting is similar to the Lumira Designer, and based on the JavaScript is also a subset of the JavaScript. So scripting capabilities. With the scripting capabilities, you can code your interactions between different components. And then we also have the scripting objects, scripting functions that will enable you to modularize your coding within your analytical applications. So that's all of the functionalities that regarding the dashboarding scenario. In addition to dashboarding scenarios, and we are also supporting the integration with SAP Analytics Cloud planning capabilities. So here you will be able to use Analytics Designer to customize your planning applications. So you can actually design your more customer convenient workflow or user interfaces by using Analytics Designer. So whom of you already use the planning features in the SAC? Then you know that with the SAC planning that you have a toolbar and you have a button there you can publish or revert versions, etc. With Analytics Designer, you can, for example, design your customer-specific workflows with actually your specific button, widget, or using different widgets to simplify or to make your planning workflow, planning user interfaces more custom-specific and more actually close, cover the customer scenarios. And in addition, we have the full flexible navigations to the other artifacts. So within the SAC, we have story, right? We have Explorer to do the intense data exploration. And we have the whole smart functions like smart discovery and search to insight, smart insight, and all of these different artifacts. And then now we have analytical applications. And there we are having a consistent look and feel all above these different artifacts. And the second, we are enable also the smooth jump interop between different artifacts. That's, for example, you can use from analytical application, jump to smart discovery, jump to explorer, jump to data analyzer, and also jump to story. And while you move from one artifact to the other artifacts, you can also transfer the parameters from analytical application to other artifacts. Means I, as end user, I just go to SAC. I should not know which artifact I'm consuming. I just know, oh, this is a sales report. I click on that. Maybe I jump to the story. And when I jump, and the whole business context, what I already, for example, selected the customer and select a variable, all of this information will be also transferred to the artifacts. Means you can really to do the smooth navigation to other artifacts without losing the business context. And we have also the seamless integration functionalities with the analytical application. So here is that, for example, if you want to embed analytical applications in your own solutions, or you have your own HTML page, that's your own company solutions, and this is actually more transactional data, and behind there, that's, for example, you want to put the analytical information. This information can be coming from the Analytics Designer, and that you can have the seamless integration between analytical application with other world. And you can also have the both direction communication. Means from the outside of the world, you can transfer the parameter to my analytical application, or from analytical application, you can pass through the parameter to the outside world. So here we are using the post message API as a technology. So on these slides are all the features that are not available in the Lumira Designer, that are only existing within Analytics Designer. Okay? Yeah, so we have the dashboarding capabilities, and we have the integration with planning, we have the seamless navigation with other artifacts, we have the also the embedding capabilities, and in addition, we also have closed loop scenarios. With Analytics Designer, you will be able to implement a closed loop scenario via the OData function call. Okay, so here with Analytics Designer, we are providing from Analytics Designer using the scripting API to trigger an OData function in the backend in the S/4HANA system. So for example, I think a closed loop scenario, you can imagine that you starting to see some alerts, then something went wrong, and you analyze it, and you are to do some simulation, maybe via planning functionalities, and finally you want to take an action, right? For example, my revenue goes down, so I analyze why my revenue goes down. Finally, if I find out, maybe I need to actually increase a little bit my price. And then you can actually make this decision, and from analytical application, you can trigger to change the price in the backend. What that means? That means you can do a closed loop scenario within the analytics environment without leaving that, but you can take the action in the backend. So with these closed loop scenarios, that you can be also covered by Analytics Design. So that's also something Lumira Design don't have. Okay. Then we have the design environment. So that's also with the scripting subset of the JavaScript, and you also get the value help, content assistance, which will help you to write those scriptings. And here, of course, the development environment is browser-based. Lumira Designer, you need to install the client. And here, you just can open the browser, do your development work everywhere, because we are in the cloud, because we are in the SAC. Okay, good. Maybe you just know one slide about the customer widget. So with the customer widget SDK, you will be able to create your own visualizations. And we have run the beta program in the Q3 in July, and with some selected partners and also customers. There we also gather the whole feedback we become from these partners, and we taking into the product for this feedback. And the general availability for the customer widget is planned for the Q4 this year. And with customer widget means you can use any libraries, that your favorite libraries, and to create these widgets. And these widgets can be uploaded into SAC, can be consumed within analytical applications. Within this slides part, I hope you have a picture that when to use Analytics Designer and also the basic functions of the Analytics Designer. Now I want to show the features and functions also in the live system to that you have a feeling, so which kind of application I can build with the analytical applications. First, let me go to the full screen mode. So first, I would like to show you standard dashboarding scenarios. So you may have already seen the similar dashboard also with the Lumira Designer, but this one is built by Analytics Designer, okay? So that's a KPI dashboard. So on the first page, that's my personal home page. And within this home page, I am able to configure my home page. So here you see that different tile is already added to this home page. I can using the plus sign and also to add another 3, for example. Once I add it, and you will see it will be actually added here. And I can also say, now I would like to delete someone, and click on that, and then you will actually, this defect rate I want to delete, then click on delete. Then other tile is just move further. So the layout, it will be automatically also adapted in case I want to actually delete one, you see? Or I delete the first one, then all the tiles will move in front of that. Okay, so here with the Analytics Designer capabilities, you can code that and you can provide to end user these functionalities to let the end user to configure their personal home pages. And then you will ask maybe, every end user has a different laptop, right? Different screen resolutions. Usually I want that a dashboard create ones, but it can be actually also displayed in different screen resolutions. So here, let me show you, go to back. Let me simulate to make the screen smaller. For example, I just make this screen smaller. And then you will see that the tile will change this also the layout automatically. So that you see the tile also move down because the screen size is getting smaller. And now I can also make that go to a big screen, then the layout will be adapted automatically again. So here, because we are providing the capabilities using the scripting API, you will be able to set the position, set the size of all this tile, so this box, and that you will be able to code that way that your home pages or any pages containers can have automatically layout based on your screen resolutions. Okay, so I will call that a kind of a manual responsible layout because I, as developer, I need to really code that. And that's the current functions. Use that, you will be able to have these functionalities. But I also need to mention the real responsive solution, what I will expect or what I'm thinking is a responsive container. Means there will be automatic responsive. Developer don't need to really write the coding for that. Now for this part, the responsive container, responsive canvas, it's also planned on our roadmap. Okay, it's today not available, but planned on the roadmap. What today available is a developer can using the scripting API also to simulate this kind of responsive layout. Good. Now I can also go to the other tab to see other pages, for example, human resources. So let me, and also to go to the financial area, and to see also the whole KPI tile for the financials. And each tile are actually always constructed with the text, with the key figure, and also with the 3 dot this icon. And if I click on that, and then pop-up will be open, and also to show me the details. Okay, so each tile is constructing that way. And within these details, I can also analyze my charts and to do more intense interactions. Okay, then let's move to also the other tab called sales. And within this sales tab, and we will see also the charts, and also with this KPI charts, and also heat maps, and also here the bubble chart. And here we see search to insight. I mentioned before that with Analytics Designer, we have a smooth and interop scenarios, smooth actually navigation between different artifacts. Means from analytical application, I also can navigate to the other artifacts, right? So here we have the analytical application. I can navigate to search to insight capability. Do you know search to insight capability from SAC? Yeah. Exactly. So search to insight capability is you can use the natural language to find the result based on the data models. So here, because a guided dashboard maybe sometime did not really respond the information is what I'm looking for, or with the standard created dashboard, I cannot find the information I'm looking for. So I can say, okay, that dashboard information is good, but I want to know also other things. And then I can using the search to insight to say, show me gross margin by location, for example. That's the natural language, right? So I click on search button, then a search to insight will be triggered here. So what happens is I am navigating from Analytics Designer to the search to insight capability within SAC, and I transfer the parameters that I have. So the parameters is actually exactly this text. Of course, you can do more advanced scenarios. For example, you select on the table, you select on the chart, get the dimension, get a key figure, and these dimensions can be also used to search to insight capabilities. And now I see my information that the gross margin also here is by location, and I can see this result, and then I have the option export to CSV, or I want to delete it, and once I have found the result that I want to know, and I can back to this guided dashboard again. So here is the integration with other artifacts, just as an example. So you notice that from analytical application, you can just navigate to the other artifacts. You can also transfer the parameter to that. And in addition, I can also want to, so this is my dashboard information. Now I want to go to my BW system to see more detailed information, to see more query information. So what I can do, from Analytics Designer, I can also jump into Data Analyzer. Do you know Data Analyzer? Yeah. 2 hands know the Data Analyzer. So Data Analyzer, we just delivered in the Q3 this year. With Data Analyzer, you will be able to do the slides dice analysis based on the BW query. So it's a similar functionalities that you already have with the BACS web application design or with a generic analysis with Lumira Designer. So I think you have this still BACS web, right? And so here within SAC, we are providing the similar capabilities that you can very convenient directly go to the BW query and also start your slide size analysis. Let me show you how it looks like. So that's the from analytical application, I can jump into data analyzer. While I'm jumping into data analyzer, I can take over some parameters. So the parameter out I'm taking over is, for example, the BW system. So, and also the query that you can see actually here, BW, and also which query is that. And now I just need to log into my BW system. Click on sign in the BW system, and then we will also here and get into the see the query information. Okay, so let me so let me do that again. So here I'm diving into the BW system that is located in Waldorf. So this BW query, so you see actually that's a parameter I'm transferring through via the scripting API from analytical application to the data analyzer. And there's a query name, sales query, and this query has the variable but is not the mandatory variable, so I can just first ignore. So once I have get it, then you will see the query information. So that's exactly the query information that is within BW. So you see, I can very convenient from SAC to directly connect to the BW query. I must not define this BW query as a model in the SAC. Here we have a transient access to the BW systems. So that's very convenient. You just go to the view ID is data analyzer, then you can already start to analyze BW query. So that's a query information, query definition in the BW. Now I want to, for example, there are 3 measures. I'm not interested in all of the 3. I just interested in 1. And but I would like to also add other dimension on the key figures into rows and columns. For example, I want to add a calendar year month into my column. So you see calendar year month is added to the column. Under this calendar year month, I want to actually select a hierarchy to display, and then year, quarter, month hierarchy, click on set. And then we will see here on the year, quarter, and the month hierarchy. No? So that's year, that's a quarter, and that's months, right? So you don't need to write any coding. So you as an end user is just now just using the navigation panel, add, remove dimension key figure as you like. So very similar functionality to the BACS web application designer 0 template. And what we can do also here is the role. So from the BW, how many of you are BW customer using the BW? Okay, so from the BW, we also know that the variant, that the hierarchies, the time-dependent hierarchies, the time-dependent, and the whole stuff, the BW stuff will be supported here. And typical is swap axis, right? So I can actually, swap axis means the dimension key figure in the rows and columns will be exchanged. And it does not look good, so let me bring back, and I can compact display. That's a display hierarchy means in the runtime it will group the dimensions, display all the dimensions as a hierarchy. So here we see that first come the region. Region has an automatic hierarchy. So first I need to drill down to the region. And then I have the product category, right? So that's a compact display if I turn off, and then the region and also the calendar region and also the product category, and that will be separate column. Okay, so that's also standard BW functionality. And you can also suppress zeros, and then you can also hide the designer panel, and then you can also here edit prompts. For example, just go to data sources, you can change the variable value, and you just apply to another variant what is already defined in the BW system, and click on set, and then the variant also will be applied. And also here you have the pause refresh options. If you don't want the whole data every time refreshed, you can click a couple of actions and then refresh the data. Okay, so that's the data analyzer functionality that is available as of Q3, and that's a functionality currently available. So what we are going to further enhance is, of course, the chart, adding the chart, and also adding the bookmark functionality for that to persist your analyzed results. But that's the current status. And here the key point is, comparing to normal BW Live connection, you don't need to define the query in the SAC. You just go to the transient access for that. Okay, so that's the data analyzer part. So let me go back to my dashboard. So from Analytic Designer, you can also jump to the data analyzer to do your work. Okay, so here is the first demo, a typical dashboarding scenario. Within this dashboarding, you have seen the layout changes on the home page. You will see that you have seen that once actually I have configured. So let me go back to the home page to show you also the bookmark functionalities. You see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, that's 5, 8. I have 8 tile, right? And then once I click on the add or delete, it will be automatically bookmarked. If now tomorrow I want to see my dashboard again, I will see exactly the homepage information I just defined last time. So here we're also using the bookmarking functionality to bookmark your personal home pages. So here, once the application is coming again, you will see that 8 tiles is actually added into the home page. Okay, so the bookmark functionality is also similar to the Lumira Designer. You can define what you want to bookmark in that case. Okay, so that's the 8 tiles. Good, that's the first demo I want to show you. Then now let's move to the second demo. So you have seen the dashboarding. Dashboarding is also Lumira Designer is going to can cover, right? But in addition with the dashboarding, we have the integration with the search to inside and the jump to the data analyzer. And here I want to show you a closed loop scenarios. That's my first home pages. I'm a travel company, maybe Lufthansa, maybe United. And in the home page, I have seen that the first my travel news, weather forecast, and then I see that actually something is not okay, and it's actually still sending me this red. I need to pay attention on that, or I need to have a detailed look into that. So I can click on that, and then we are getting into the second page of this dashboard. Then you see actually here the different 3 key figures: operating costs, load factor, revenue. Operating costs, the actual value is much more than the forecast, so it's here red. And we also notice this gauge component. So gauge component is not available as standard in SAC. So here we are using the custom widget to create it and also to use in the analytical application. So load factor for a flight company, it indicates how many seats are already occupied. Yeah? So it's 87% is still okay, and the revenue it's also okay, and only this operating cost is actual cost too high. So I, as actually cost optimizer, I need to solve this issue. So my first option would be, let's increase the forecasted value. So I'm using a slider component from analytical application to increase the forecasted value for 5%. Then we will see that here the result here, the comparison between actual and forecast is actualized, and we see the gauge is also updated to the 101%. And so here the functionality behind is the integration with the planning capabilities. So here basically we increase the forecasted value and also to show the result. And as a planning functionality, once I change it, is first only my private version. Only if I click on the publish, then my private version will turn into the public version. Okay, so because I'm a cost optimizer, I need to that become the public, right? Also for the others. And then the system telling me, yes, it's still 1% actually above actual, and I should consider rearranging the flight with a high operating cost. Okay, so then let me check the flights. So which option do I have here? So again, here is the 1% over the forecast, and I see here the different flights with a different number. So let me here move down to see the most critical flight that I want to optimize. Oh, I have seen there's one flight scheduled is with a high operating cost, and the load factor in the business class and economy class is also very low. So I want to reschedule this flight. So once I click on that, you notice on the right side is displaying the information. So here, basically, is the old data triggering in the backend. So once I click in it, the flight SAP 521, I transfer this information to the backend through OData. Using the OData information, I get how many seats are already occupied. I also get the information that which airplane are currently scheduled for this 521. And here the airplane is a customer widgets. So you can use a customer widgets also to show the airplanes and to show how the seats are occupied. We see in the business class is only 4 seats are taken. And currently scheduled with the narrow body aircraft, but I have the option to switch to the regional aircraft. Click on that. What should I do now? I should actually first simulate this airplane switch before I make the decision, right? So I can click on it and click on simulation. So behind the simulate button is also the integration with the SAC planning capabilities. So here, basically, what I have done is that I changed the airplane. This airplane, a small airplane, has lower operating costs. So with that, we have seen that customer widget has also been updated, a small airplane, and these 4 seats from business class are taken, but the load factor for the business class is much better than before, and the operating cost goes down. Before is also this number, and also the alert is gone. Okay, so what should I do now after actually simulation? I see issue is solved. Then I should make my decision to trigger the action, right? So now I click on the apply button to trigger the switching airplane in the backend S4HANA backend system. And once after I trigger that, I get a confirmation from the backend. Okay, the triggering, the switching airplane is successful. So with that, we have seen a closed loop scenario starting from I see something goes wrong, then I can analyze it, simulate that, finally I'm taking an action to solve this issue. And I don't need to leave my analytics workflow. I don't need to leave this application. But I already solved the issue, and also I triggered an action also in the backend. So with Analytics Designer, you will be able to do this closed loop scenario. So here you see the custom widgets playing, and also this shape is done by customer widgets, and the gauge is also done by customer widgets. So using the customer widgets, you will be able to create your own visualizations. You will be able to also influence the look and the feel for your analytical applications. Good, so that's a closed loop scenario. The dashboarding scenario, closed loop scenario are already all available today. Okay, so this functionality, okay, customer widget is in beta and will go to GA in the Q4. So as a next, I just want to show you the last one. I want to show you an innovation. I want to show you a POC that we have done to show you the innovations, what you can do with the Analytics Designer. Here the scenario is a smart alerting capabilities. So you know that with analytical applications, also we know from the BobJ, actually the suite, we have the scheduling functionality. We are planning also delivering the scheduling functionality within SAC. So it's not yet available today, but we are planning to do that. But we hear that actually every Monday sends the reports to my manager. I can do that scheduling, but I want to more intelligent to the scheduling part. So I want actually the system send actually every Monday to my manager actually the dashboard information, and also I want that actually every Monday that system automatically detect what has been changed from comparing this week to last week, and these changes should be also already sent to my manager, so automatically published. So here one capability is automatic detect the data changes. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So here's my dashboard. I am an end user, so I want to actually subscribe the data changes here. So click on that. I say, okay, I want to subscribe this gross margin, this KPI type as high importance. Then I want to save my subscription. And another chart, I also want to do that. And also here, it should be the high importance. And also I want to save my subscription. And after that, and I want to actually trigger my scheduling, click on that, and then a scheduling window is open. I can give a name. I can actually define how frequent this scheduling should be done. And I'm not going to click OK because it will take some time regarding sending the information, sending the notification, but I prepared already before I just start the session. I want to show you the results. So you actually subscribe it, scheduling it, and then on Monday morning, and you will get actually the notifications. So I have here. So I have actually in my SAC tenant, here is a notification. I will see actually, there is a 2 notification I just prepared actually 1 hour ago. And the notification said the analytic robot discovered 5 significant data changes for this dashboard. And also the gross margins, so what I subscribed, do you remember? Was the gross margins is below 0, while the net revenue is positive on 26th of the September. So okay, so first I can get a notification. I can also get the PDF file, and this PDF file is basically sending all the dashboard information for me. So that's the Monday status, the data status, and also sending me this automatically detected data changes. Okay, so that's what I can see from the PDF file. So that's a scheduling capability. Every Monday you get it, but the system automatically detected the data changes. So what we are applying is actually behind the scene is machine learning capabilities also in the back end. We are using, actually we observe these data changes to see whether a threshold reference lines has been changed. All of these factors will be taken into consideration and then generate this automatically insights. And then what I can do, so if I actually click on this notification, I'm getting into this dashboard, and within the dashboard I can have a detailed information for this data change insights. So this is actually the text line what also I got from the PDF file, but in the online, in these applications, I can see the top 5 sales managers has been changed comparing from this week, this Monday, and the last Monday. So you see that this Monday, 23rd, and this last Monday, 16th. And this Monday is Raj as a top sales manager. Last Monday is still the cow. So I see the difference actually comparing to last week. And if I want to see the historical view, I click on the historical view, and then also just click on the play button. Then I see actually the historical view of the how is data has been changed actually in the for these top sales managers. Okay. So here, what you have seen is that we're using the machine learning capabilities in the back end to automatically detect data inside data changes, and these data changes can be scheduled and to be sent as a notification or to be sent via the PDF by using the scheduling capabilities. And in addition, because the analytics designer has the scripting capabilities, you have also the additional options as an end user to say, while scripting this gross margin, I can subscribe it, and I can also add another condition. For example, only the this gross margin this Monday comparing to last Monday is actually 50% more, and then it should be for example, sending the PDF or notifications. So here means we have auto-detected data insights, but you can also apply your personal rules, your personal configurations for triggering these smart alerting functionalities. So that's what you can do with Analytics Designer. That is still in the POC. What we have done is we are leveraging the scheduling capabilities from SAC that the other colleagues are currently working on at the app design specific part, like this scripting part, and to enable this kind of automatic data change insights, or automatically detect data changes, and to have a smart alerting capabilities. And if we think further, you have seen before this OData stuff, right? So based on the event, I trigger OData functionality. We can thinking that from the smart alerting combining with the OData pieces means once actually I have detected some automatically data changes, and I can trigger an action in the backend. Yeah. For example, if I discover that the gross margins from this Monday is actually 50% of the comparing to last Monday, and then I can also trigger an OData function in the call in the backend. Means I can the whole workflow actually as automatic processes run in the backend without the human involvement to automatically to do that. From the detect some data changes until to take an action in the backend. Okay, so that's just here want to show you some innovations what we also in the driving in the development team, and to show you what potential you can use the Analytics Designer to actually to develop also in your environment. So again, mention again, this is still in the POC. It's not available today, and it's considered for the future releases. Okay, so let me go back to the last slide. So you have seen different demos, right? Dashboarding demos, you have seen the closed loop scenarios, you have seen the smart alerting scenarios, then have a look into the roadmap, what we are further planning in the future releases. So Q3 is already delivered. That's actually if you have the QRC tenant in your company, you should already have the status. You should be already see the panel container widget, the whole geomap support. You already can use the data analyzer, and for the planning stuff, you can also already use these pieces. Under the Q4, we are further planning for the tab strip widget, more flexible layouting capabilities, and you in the design time, you can align your widget, so align left, align right, align top, and align bottom. And we are also going to further enhance the data analyzer capabilities, extension capabilities, and the bookmark support that you already have seen in my demo, and the commenting, and also export to PDF, and also different APIs will be enable you to implement the interactions. And the future roadmaps, we are also mobile support, right? We are planning to enable the mobile native browser support, plus the mobile app support, and the blending support in the story, digital boardroom integrations, and further enhancements in the data analyzer, and also the extension part, and enterprise capabilities is the key. For example, scheduling broadcasting, the POC for that, and composite. as a reusable objects, because we notice for the Lumira designer, the customer is very happy with the composite, because that's will exactly reduce their implementation effort. So here we also want to deliver this composite concept for the Lumira designer, more advanced printing capabilities, and export to Analytics Cloud, adding for Microsoft Office, and also additional design time features like undo redo, like property bindings we already have with the Lumira designer, and also widget outline improvements, and also we want to copy widgets from story to the app, that you can, at least if you already started with the story, you can copy chart on the table, take over to the app, and then you can further add button, add images to create your analytical applications. So that's all on the roadmap. And one important part I want to add is Analytics Designer is included within the standard business intelligence license in SAP Analytics Cloud. Means if you today can create a story, you can also create analytical applications without additional license cost, okay? That's already standard in the BI license. Okay, so far I think I speak really a lot about the Analytics Designer, from the positioning, features, showing different demos, and also the roadmaps. And now, actually, I think I hope you have a picture about Analytics Designer, what you can do with Analytics Designer, so which kind of functions is already there, and which kind of scenarios you can use Analytics Designer to build.